Hello friends, how is everybody doing this lovely morning? The sun is shining, the skies are blue, it's 40 degrees, it's beautiful out, and I'm happy. I've got something to tell you. You know, I did the video and I took you to our junk store and I took you over to the Amish and into Dublin, and I hit a hellacious haul. I did very good on Friday. I was so impressed by my $84 of savings. I was just on cloud nine with that. Anyway, remember I told you that we were debating whether we wanted to build our chicken coop or if it would be cheaper to buy one, you know, what we were going to do with that. Well, we sat down the other day and we figured, you know what, we'll just build one because it probably would run us about $250 to build it. And that being with all the materials and then the extra run that we want to build too. So I started looking online at the, do-it-yourself chicken coops. And all of a sudden, when I was doing that, this little thing from Tractor Supply popped up, and they had the pre-built chicken coops. And a lot of them were on sale, but boy, they can go up to $3,000. I said, oh my goodness, that is unreal. You know, it's cheaper to build your own. So anyway, I just got curious and I started looking through there. Well, I found this one that I liked. And I thought, you know what, that's just what I have in mind to build. But this is already built, except it was $499. I thought, yeah, no, I can't. We can build it so much cheaper. So I thought, well, and then it come back through and said there was a price drop, that it was $299. So that's $200 less, you know. And I thought, oh, so I hollered for my husband, and he comes and looks at it. He says, well, that's kind of what you want. And, you know, it might be $50 more than what we planned on buying. He said, but you know what? It'd be convenient that's not a bad price. I said, no, because it's big enough that it will house. Oh, it stands 6.5 foot tall, and it's big enough that it will house 12 to 15 chickens. And we're only going to have about 8 chickens. So I thought, oh, these ladies will have lots of room to run around in there, and, you know, that'd be good. So I couldn't order it online. It wouldn't let me, add it to the cart. And I got frustrated, and I thought, you know what, forget this. I'm just going to call Tractor Supply in Benzie and see if they can't order me one for that price. Well, when I called the lady, I gave her the SKU number and everything, and she looked down there and she says, yeah, we got 2 of them in stock. And I'm like, okay, I'll be right there. So my husband and I, we went over there, and we got the chicken coop, and we got 3 different 50-pound bags of feed that were on sale. And we got a nice big 5-gallon watering pail, which is nice to have for them, and then a feeder. So plus we got some extra fencing because it was 20% off. So we got a huge roll of fencing, let's see, so that we can do some extra, fencing for them. And I think it's 50 feet long, 36 inches high, and 50 feet long. So we got a nice amount of chicken fencing. Well, anyway, when we get up to the register, the chicken coop rang up. You ready for this? $199. And I told the lady, well, of course, I'm as honest as probably the most honest person you'll ever meet. And I said to the lady, I said, no, that's not. I said, that's $299. I said, I think there's a mistake, or maybe you made a mistake. I said, I don't want to, feel like I'm stealing or something like that. I said, that's $299. That's a big difference. And she says, nope, that's what it is. She says, we got 2 of them left, and we're wanting to, get them out of the inventory. And I'm like, oh my goodness. I got a $500 chicken coop for $199. $300 savings. Plus, I got an extra $4 savings for between the fencing or no, $4 savings for the feed that I bought that was on sale, and the fencing was another 20% off, so I got another $4 off that. So 300 and that's what, $308 savings. Oh my gosh, I was so excited. My husband's like, "Oh my God, you hit pay dirt." Yeah, that's what he always says. "You hit pay dirt." I'm like, "Oh my gosh." And the first thing I thought of was, "Oh my gosh, I just did that beautiful grocery haul. Just wait till they hear this one." So I'm so excited because that chicken coop was $500 to begin with, and we got it for $199. We could not have built that chicken coop that cheap. Thank you, Jesus. Oh, I was excited. Absolutely. And here, I'll show you. I'll show you right here. You flip this around. Okay? You'll never believe this. This is amazing. Let's see here. See? Was $499. A walk-in prairie house, a chicken coop, was $499. And the amount, $199. Can you believe that? How fantastic is that? So I'm excited because you can walk right in it. It's 6.5 feet tall. It's nice and big. And in fact, I'll show you. It was too big to fit in our Jeep. I gotta make sure I flip this around. It was too big to fit inside the Jeep, and it came in 2 boxes. Plus we had the 150 pounds of feed and all the other little odds and ends we got for the chickens. So we put the smaller box in the Jeep with the feed, and the big box we strapped to the top of my Jeep. If that isn't hilarious. But we got it home okay. So, that's not the end of the story. I was so excited, that I got that within my budget, well within my budget. And we get halfway home, we get about 2 miles from our house, and the water pump went out in my Jeep. It's like, are you kidding me? Well, there goes my budget. Oh, so I got to get a water pump. And it blew antifreeze everywhere. It just blew. So I had just my son just put the radiator in, and now the water pump. And it's like, I told my husband, I said, I love this little Jeep, but I sure hope it's not going to start nickel and diming me, because I'll get rid of it. And you don't want to sell it unless you sell it for parts, because once that starts happening, it's just like, I don't want it to nickel, and I don't want to sell somebody else my headache, So anyway, I'm just hoping that it's not going to start nickel and diming me, because that can really tear into your money and go through your money quick. So anyway, I'll go to rockauto.com again, and my son said, just order one. They're probably about $40-50, he said, and I'll put it in there, and it should be good to go. But anyway, with all that was my weekend. I didn't do any videos this weekend because we were busy planning and figuring all this out, and I'm just so excited I got that chicken coop for $199. You can't build them that cheap. Not that look like that. I'll turn the camera off, and I'll show you the picture of it. It really is a nice one. Wouldn't you know, the box is leaning out here upside down, but I don't know how well you can see it, but it's that guy standing right next to it. It really is a nice coop, and it's got 4 nesting boxes in it, and look at all the chickens in there. You can fit a lot of chickens in there, and comfortably. So that's what we got. So then we'll figure out, let me go back through this way, we'll figure out where we're going to put it in about a couple weeks when the snow's all gone. Okay, we'll go back in here. I'm sorry if I'm making you dizzy. Okay. So we'll figure out where we're going to put that, and then I'll do a video on putting that together, and introducing the chickens. And for those of you who might be interested in backyard chickens, I'll take you all along on an introduction to backyard chickens, because they're fantastic. I have always had chickens. When I stopped having chickens was when I started driving semi and I was never home. I was gone more than I was home. So I didn't have chickens. But I always had, on my farm, I always had about 40 laying hens. And let me tell you what, they are fantastic. They're good for they're little workers. And, you know, they don't just, what everybody says, poop breakfast. They don't just give you eggs. They earn their keep. They used to, you know, they'll work up your compost. They rid your yard of ticks and fleas and bugs, and they're just fantastic, you know, and they're a good form of entertainment because there's some breeds of chickens that are quite mild-tempered and friendly, and you know, they're good to have. I've always liked chickens, and I'd always recommend somebody having backyard chickens. And most of the time, even the little villages will allow you to have, you know, so many. And I really don't know. I think it would go from village to village, you know, how many they consider a small flock. But I'm going to have between 6 and 8 chickens. And the chickens that I got coming, they're already grown and they've already been laying for about 6 to 8 months now, and I'm excited for them. So I got some, and then I might get, you know, a couple little chicks. I don't know, but if I ever have more, I'll never have more than 8, because if I wind up having more than 8 or whatever, I'll just take them over to my son's house because he's got a whole slew of chickens, so I never have to worry about that. I'm not going to have a rooster, though there's roosters in town. I don't think there's anything in the ordinance that says you can't have a rooster, but people might complain because they're crowing. Probably not any more than people's dogs. You know, that they don't take care of their dogs. They leave them out. They bark all day, half the night. But you know what? People will get mad at a rooster. And I live in a small town, so I don't want people mad at me over a rooster. And unless my chickens are going to hatch the eggs, I don't really need a rooster. You can, you know, your chickens will lay eggs regardless. They just won't be fertile. So anyway, with that, I'll take you through all the steps of raising your backyard chickens, and it'll be fun. And if you find, I mean, you can even get 2 chickens, you know, just a few backyard chickens. But I like that coop because it's got the 4 nesting boxes in there, and I like that. I'm real particular about nesting boxes. I always used to make, you know, put the straw in there, and I'd always put fresh herbs in their nesting beds, in their nesting boxes, because especially the herbs that help keep bugs away, you know. And plus the chickens used to like that, the fresh herbs in there. They'd somehow weave it down, and they'd keep it in their nest, and they seem to like it. So I do a lot of little fun things like that with my chickens. Even when I had 40 of them, friends, I took very good care of my chickens. Very good care of my chickens until my neighbor, she had, oh my goodness, I'll tell you that story. 40 chickens. I had 40 laying hens. Beautiful, healthy laying hens. And my neighbor's dog, she lived probably 1/8 of a mile away, was out in the country. He come through, she let him off his run so that he could run because, you know, he's got the right to run. So she said. Anyway, he killed every one of my chickens. I come home from work and I had it looked like somebody had a pillow fight with down feathered pillows, but there was feathers and my poor dead ladies all over my yard, and I just cried. I thought, oh my God, what got my chickens? Well, here comes her dog around the side of my barn with a chicken hanging out of his mouth, and I just about died. I was so sick-hearted that all my chickens were gone. Lo and behold, her father paid for all my chickens to replace them all. Thank you. That was awful nice. You know, I didn't call anybody. I didn't file a complaint. I didn't sue him. Nothing like that. He just willingly come down and he replaced all my chickens. Not with chicks, with full-grown laying hens, you know. So I got all the chickens back. I got another brand new bunch of 40 chickens, and Oh, 3 times the dog killed chickens. 3 times that dog come over to my house and killed all 40 of my chickens. 3 times. And she kept saying, finally, the second time, I told her, I said, you have got to keep your dog out of my yard. If he wants to run, take him and train him to run somewhere else. But when you let him off his chain, he runs right over to my house and he kills all my chickens and my geese, anything, you know, anything I had over there, chickens, geese, ducks, whatever. He would kill everything. And she was real, how do you say this without being nasty? She was a piece of work. She said, well, I don't give a damn about your chickens. My dog has the right to run. And I said, okay. And I went home. And I called, what was it, the DNR? And I told him what had happened. Well, he said, the next time you see the dog, you know what, report it and we'll come over there. Well, I was hoping I would never see that dog again. But the third time, the dog come over and destroyed all the chickens. I do believe that the DNR gentleman went and talked to her about the dog in between these times, though. He talked to her about keeping the dog in her own property. You know, if you want to let your dog run there, and he does stuff like that, there's going to be consequences. But I think he did talk to her, and you know, I don't know. I don't really know for sure, but I do know the dog came over one time after that, and I called the gentleman from the DNR, and they told me to leave everything the way it was. They needed to take pictures and stuff, so I did. 40 dead chickens all over my yard, and they come out and they took pictures of everything. Well, I got reimbursed, you know, for all my loss, but she, because it was a third time the dog did that, even supposedly after a warning, she was fined $1,500. $1,500 for every chicken her dog killed. Mutilation. I couldn't believe it. And I think her father took care of the dog. I'm not sure. I didn't keep track. I just got my funds back and I started it again. So I've always had chickens. Always had chickens. Enough of that story. That was terrible. That was hard. I was just heartsick. Oh, my poor chickens. Anyway, 40 of them I had. Beautiful chickens. All different kinds. They were nice. They were fun, and my kids loved them. I had one of the chickens that somehow kept escaping the death of the dog was a little banny hen, and I don't know where she hid, but it seems like she was always the only one left. And my girls, they were little at the time, you know, under 10 years old, and they would go out in the morning to play and stuff, and they'd head right for that chicken would come running to them. They would haul her around in a stroller. They put her in doll clothes. Oh my gosh, they called her Beulah, was that chicken's name, but she was a chicken, and she was always with my girls, followed them everywhere, and they'd dress her up, they'd haul her around in a stroller. Oh my gosh, it was never a dull moment on my home when my kids were little. So we had fun with that, and chickens are fun to have. So this time I'm not having 40 though. I'm only going to have about 8 of them, and I'm going to have a nice time with them, and I'll take y'all through that chicken journey. So, and then after that, within about 2 weeks, we should have that chicken coop up. And then after that, we're going to work on the greenhouse. So we're just now debating. We're definitely going to build our own. We're not going to buy one. But we're debating on whether we're going to do a wooden structure or we're going to do PVC. And it looks like we might be leaning closer to the PVC. Might be a little pricier. We're not sure. But we saved a lot on the chicken coop, so hopefully we can save a nice chunk on the greenhouse. And that will really be fun. And I already got my compost bin going, so as soon as the snow goes away, I know our village here at the edge of town has a place where it's like a big open field, and everybody will drop their stones, their rocks, their you can rake your yard, and you're more than welcome to take your yard debris down to and dump it down there. The only thing they don't allow, which I mean common sense, is household garbage. But you can take all your sticks, your twigs, your leaves, all your yard debris, your everything down there and dump it. And it just sits in that pile. Well, obviously it composts in that pile, you know, so you got half-made compost. Well, I go down there, plus you can dump there, but they also say, you know what, take what you want. So I always go down there every year and I fill in my compost bin because I use an accelerant on my compost that's fantastic, and it's workable in about a month. So I have, you know, good workable compost. Well, with chickens I'll have even more, or even better compost, because they're fantastic little workers in your compost pile. Their manure, their chicken poop is it's high in phosphorus and potassium and nitrogen, so it's fantastic for a compost. But anyway, I'll show you the compost too. So things are gearing up here, folks. I'm telling you, it's going to be a busy spring for me. And as soon as the snow is gone, it's already starting to melt. But I've got big, huge snowbanks from where we plowed. And we're going to get our greenhouse going, and then, you know, we're going to do our raised beds. So between April and May is going to be really busy, and lots of videos on outside. Lots of videos on the homesteading part of it. And then come fall, when, you know, the real canning season comes in, that's when I'll do an introduction to canning. For those of you, I've had lots of questions and lots of people telling me they've been inspired to start canning. So you know what I can offer you is a little introduction to canning, and the do's and the don'ts, and you know, no shortcuts. And because I just don't do that. But I'll do an introduction to canning, and that will be quite helpful to a lot of you who are going to just start canning. So we're going to have a blast. Anyway, also I wanted to tell you, or show you, I got some more freebies. I got freebies over the weekend. My friend Wanda, thank you Wanda, brought over a nice big box of stuff that she cleaned out of her pantry. So let me move my camera a second. It's going to take me, it's a pretty heavy box. I'm not sure exactly what's all in it, but we'll find out. Okay. We've got some hamburger helper. I need my cheaters. Oh, your eyeballs. Oh, by the way, I'll tell you that in a minute. My glasses. I need glasses again. Go figure. I got some rice-a-roni. Oh, she gave me some shake and bake. I make my own, but it's always nice to get it. I love freebies. And I got a can of SpaghettiOs. I got a can of butter flavored Crisco. I got another can of SpaghettiOs. Now, you know, my grandkids will eat that. They like that. And I got some mini sport shape Chef Boyardee, and I've got to answer that phone. I'm waiting for a call. I don't like telemarketers. I don't like these companies that do robocalling. You get so angry. I'm waiting for a phone call, and then some stupid thing comes through that they heard I've got pain. Oh well. Anyway, I got some Nutella. That's a nice big jar of Nutella. That's nice for baking. I'll put that in my baking cabinet. And I got some more SpaghettiOs. My grandkids will like that. It's a good treat for them. Let's see what here's. Hearty cheeseburger soup. Well, you know what? Mr. Wayna will like that because he loves cheeseburgers. Cheeseburgers and fries. That's his favorite food. Some bean with bacon soup. Some more bean with, look at all this stuff. Bean with bacon soup. Some French onion soup. I got a video on my homemade French onion soup because I can it. I love this stuff. This is also good for using like a broth too. You know, when you make your soups or even a big roast with potatoes and carrots, you put a can of French onion soup in there. Oh my goodness, is that ever good. And some beefy vegetable soup. Oh, there's lots of soups in here. Another thing of French onion soup. Let's see here. We got some tuna helper. That's always nice to have in the pantry. I love free. Free's always in my budget. Cheesy pasta. Another tuna helper. Those are nice. A hamburger helper. Ultimate cheeseburger macaroni. And then I got a cheesy skillet. A Velveeta cheesy skillet. Cheesy mac. And I've got a can of Spam. You know what? I have never, ever in my life had Spam. But I'll try it. Might as well. I don't know what all it is, but you know what? We'll give it a whirl. And if I don't like it, I'll find somebody who will eat it. So, that's pretty good. And let's see, down here we got, looks like spices. Morton sea salt rub. Oh, those are nice. I've got some of those. She gave me some of those already. She must have found some more. Cracked peppercorn and herb. That is good stuff. Wow. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 of these. That's nice. I'll use every one of those too. I use them, and then I got another friend who would like to have some of them. So there's my freebies. Check that out. All kinds of freebies. That's a lot of money worth of groceries right there. So I'll add that to my pantry, and I'll send this stuff home with my one granddaughter because she loves the SpaghettiOs and the Chef Boyardee. Well, that's my Tootsie Bell, the blonde-haired one, and she lives with her daddy, my son, and he always gets her the SpaghettiOs. She loves them, and the ravioli. Okay, so I'll be putting these away. And that'll be good. I don't know. You see stuff on the internet about making your own Spam, but I don't know. What is it? Ham? It's gluten-free. I can't see. Oh, here we go. Fully cooked, ready to eat, cold or hot. What's in it? It doesn't say. And there's my phone again. If that's them people again, I'm going to have a fit. Okay, that's what I was waiting for. All right, I forgot where I was. Oh, I was trying to see what Spam is made out of. I know some of you are probably saying junk, but I want to know what's in it. Don't they have to list the ingredients? I always thought they did. I do know that Spam was, I don't want to say invented, but you know, that's something they come up with when the war was going on. It just says to bake. Oh, ingredients. Pork with ham, salt, water, modified potato starch, sugar, and sodium nitrate. The nitrates aren't good for you, but everything else in here, I mean, you can pronounce it. It's pretty basic stuff. Pork and ham and salt and water. It's just like a compressed meat, I guess. Probably pretty salty. What's the salt content? Salt, sodium, 790. Ooh, that's high. It has no sugar in it. 7 grams of protein and 1 gram of carb. Huh. 180 calories. Well, I guess that isn't too bad. Soup is really high in sodium. Let's see. 890 milligrams of sodium in a little can of soup. That has less. That's something. It's amazing. That's why when I bake something or make a casserole and you wind up putting like cream of chicken or cream of mushroom soup in it, I never add any more salt because the cans of soup are so salty. So I like this stuff. Thank you, Wanda. You're precious. And my other friend gave my husband to give to me, our other friend that he works with. He gave me 2 big goose eggs. I loved baking with goose eggs. 1 big goose egg is like bacon with 3 eggs. I can do a cake and add a goose egg to it, and it's perfect. I've always done that. I used to have geese. Oh my goodness, those were a trip. Anyway, I'm so excited for these chickens, but I got all kinds of stuff, the projects that I'm going to be doing. So maybe I'll shed some of my winter weight. I'm so excited today. I've got cabin fever. I got to get out of the house. But I was out Friday running around and saving money, and yesterday, Sunday, was when we got the chicken coop. So that's going to be fun. And then my husband saw the rototiller. He said, look, that rototiller's on sale for $599. I'm like, okay. They're $899. But this one was reduced. And the reason why it was reduced is somebody had purchased it, and they broke a belt on it, got all ticked off, and took it back to the Tractor Supply and got their money back. So apparently they fixed the belt, and now they're just selling it as used. And I thought, nope, even used, to me that's too much. I'm not paying that kind of money for that. So maybe that's just me being a tightwad. I don't know. My husband says, oh, you should get it. I think you should get it. I said, yeah, I can't even run it, let alone pick it up. So anyway, where I'm trying to see if there was one on here that looked, yeah, it looked just like this one right here. Identical. So if anybody's had a Cub Cadet, tell me if this would be a good buy. See, it's identical to that one, and that one is $899. This one is the same thing. It's just that the person broke a belt, and they got all mad and returned it for their money back. And now it's on sale for $5.99. Let's see if there's anything else in here the panels, the cattle panels that we're going to get. They're $21.99, and they're 16 feet long. And we're going to use those for our trellises. So those are going to be nice. And then the, what was it? The little fencing posts or whatever you want to call them that go with them. They're $4.20, $4.19 a piece. Or you can get the heavy duty plastic ones. I know that sounds like wet plastic is heavy duty, but they're pretty sturdy, and your fencing just hooks into them. So but I think we're going to get the metal ones because I want to grow some of the heavier, like I want to try and do some winter squash and stuff, and you can grow it right up your trellis. That's why we got the cattle panels, or why we're going to get them, because they are heavier. Yeah, right here they are. They're called poly fence post. Self-insulating, hold steel wire, poly wire, and poly tape white. But they're on sale for $1.69, 48-inch step-in poly fence post. We might grab those with the cattle panels. So, anyway, yep, they got all their baby chickies in there. I saw all the little chicks and the ducks and all that good stuff there, and you just want to buy them all, bring them home. Can't do that though. But anyway, not much else going on. I'm going to do a couple videos today. I'm going to show you how you can, I'm going to do some mixes, some gravy mixes that you can, have for your pantry staples. And I'm going to show you how to make rice milk. That's going to be my videos for the next couple days. I love rice milk. I love chocolate rice milk. Good stuff. Anyway, that, and I want to stock up on some of my gravy mixes. I do a chicken and a beef gravy mix. So I'm going to do videos on that too. So anyway, with that, I'm going to skedaddle, and I got a few things I got to put together. I've got somebody coming for a meeting, and then I will see you again in the videos. So there you have it, friends. I hope you all have a nice day.